everybody.
NHL Nightly with your host, the sportsman, a.k.a. Peter Lebowski, a.k.a. Jeremiah Maxwell. And with him, as always, maybe Pearlo, Wisdom, and Rico in Barry.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for coming on to NHL Nightly. Sponsored by Fans First Sports Network. I keep forgetting to say that at the beginning. If you're just joining us, the Caps were up 3-0. Then they went down 4-3. Then they went up 5-4. They just got an empty netter from Alex Ovechkin. It's 6-4 with 13 seconds to go. It's looking like that's probably going to be the final. Appreciate you. We're waiting on Mr. Rico and Barry, but we will see what's going on. What's up, Pearlo? What's new in the world? I'm hearing a little audio from your side there on maybe your TV or something.
Yeah, we got some. You know what? I'll put on my headphones because I got some people in the background here.
Okay, yeah, no worries.
I'll get my headphones on.
Okay, no worries. Well, in the meantime, I'll mute you while you're getting ready there. And I'll make myself the big one. Hey, so thanks, everybody, for popping in. Let's see who we got in the chat already. Logan, yeah. Well, Logan, I'll tell you what, and this is just my theory. One, the Caps need to see something from Tom Wilson. He has been non-factor. Two, Rasmus Sandin, hope he's healthy, left midway through the third. So that's going to be key. And then three, the long change. The Caps are going to struggle against fast teams. But this is a good one to get on the road. Let's bring Pearlo back in. Pearlo.
Yeah, that's better now.
We're going to go full screen until we get our main man, Rico. Let me send the tweet out. All right. I gotta get on those guys. I gotta talk to some of those guys. We've got some contributors in the Fans First Sport Network I need to reach out to. I feel bad. My brain's been all over. All right. Hey,
always all over.
Hey, Andrew, you got to tell us where the bar is, because I don't know where it is, but I promise you, if I have an opportunity to come to this bar, I am coming. Okay. If it's in Edmonton, when I visit Pearlo, I'm coming. He doesn't drink, but I'll buy him some food. If it's in Toronto, I'm coming.
Where is Andrew? Yeah, if he's in Edmonton, I'll go get some chicken wings.
Yeah,
with
Andrew
him.
is such a consistent fan that's in the chat with us all the time, and
yeah,
he doesn't
I'll go get some chicken wings with him sometime. We'll do it live right from there.
Yeah,
yeah.
And I tried to meet up with some of the Tampa folks when I was down there. Oh, it's in North Carolina. I could find my way in North Carolina. I got some Army buddies. If you didn't know, I think some people don't know, I spent 25 years in the Army. So I have some buddies that are there that I have a good friend there, Tony Carthens, that lives in Goldsboro. No, he might live in Fayetteville. Anyway, I can't remember where he's at. I gotta give him a ring. Anyway, let me I promised my friend Darren that I would send him the link to this show. I hope Rico's okay. He was kind of asking me if we wanted to move it up, and I was like, no, I mean, I'm good unless you want to. Oh no, just as I said.
Rico's in.
There he is. What's up,
Rico?
I didn't know if this was too late for you. I know we only had the one game, but I was like, it's nice to have the game over if the game can be over, you know?
Yeah,
for sure, man.
So, how's your day, man? Anything new in the world?
Me, I went shopping for my Halloween costume there. Me and the wifey are going as Travis Barker and Courtney Barker Kardashian to a party this weekend.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm. I got the face tats and the neck tats.
Courtney Kardashian is married to Courtney Kardashian is married to Travis Barker.
Yeah, man.
I didn't know that. I know who Travis Barker is. Hey, Dominic in the chat. Caps win 6-4. So, hey, look, I thought this game was going to be an absolute dumpster fire from the Caps perspective. And they come out, they score 3 goals, and they're up 3-0. I'm like, oh, this is where, I mean, you know, this is where you can, you know, this is good. We can get something out of this. We can make a move. And then New Jersey goes 5-3. I'm like, this is going to be a 6-3 loss or something for the Caps. But then the Caps come back and answer, and really, you know, it was a shame that Sonny Milano's goal didn't count. But they really handled this game in the first 3 or 4 minutes. Now the question is Rasmus Sandin okay? So, hey, I'm going to drop the link in the chat too. And allow yourself the opportunity to step back. Okay, sorry. Okay. Getting a little audio from some. Still getting a little audio from something. Even though you guys got your headphones, I don't know. That's not me, is it? I don't have anything on it.
Shouldn't be.
Okay.
Shouldn't be getting anything from me.
Here, let me.
Huh. Yeah,
I muted Pearlo. I think it's coming from you, Pearlo. It's all right. You got guests over, no big deal.
I had some people in the background, but with my
yeah, I mean, unless the headphones has an internal mic, it usually doesn't make that big of a difference. So it's all right. Really? Don't worry about it. We'll live with it. We'll live with it.
Cool.
It wasn't really a turnover frenzy, Gabby. It was a good game. I'll say this. Here's a couple things that I noticed about New Jersey tonight, and then I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what you have to say. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. My buddy Darren he broke his leg. Or had surgery on his leg. He wanted to know the show, but he's a diehard Avalanche fan. So here, I'll show you. He got the cast. I'm going to show the cast. Here, we'll show you the cast here. I'll pull up the whole photo here, so you don't have to. Oh no. Yeah, that's definitely coming from Pearlo. Here, I just muted you real quick, Pearlo. No worries. Don't worry. We'll figure it out. Okay, so he's such a diehard. He got Avalanche. He got Avalanche cast there. I don't know why it's not showing the big picture, but whatever. Yeah, everybody can see my text there. That's great. Okay, so dumb. All right, we'll figure it out. Dylan Strome been on a fire too, but real quick to hashtag recap. The Devils are not good on the faceoff. The Caps are typically a 50-50 team in the faceoff, but I didn't see the numbers. I'll have to look at the box score. I didn't see them win a face-off of note. Like, it just felt like that. I'll look at the stats now. Caps did score on the power play. They kept their penalty minutes down. Is it telling me where the face? It's not giving me. Oh, okay. No, I'm wrong. The Devils won the majority. They won 55% of the face-offs. So,
well, face-offs don't really. People overrate face-offs, anyways. To begin with, it's not that big of a deal.
But here's what I'll say though, Pearlo, with their speed and ability to get up the ice, they probably want to control the puck a little bit more.
A little bit, but it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, go ahead. You guys.
Tampa Bay was one of the worst face-off teams in the league, and they won like 3 cups in a row. So it's not that big of a deal. Point was their only good face-off guy.
One of the comments in Bleacher Report is gamblers are on suicide watch. So Rico, did you get to see any of the game? You don't have any opinion on the game? That's why I threw it to you guys.
Yeah, no, it was good, man. The Hughes brothers played amazing tonight. Like Luke Hughes on the back end, he's getting a ton of ice time. He's getting more ice time than Doug Hamilton is, and Jack Hughes is just flying out there, man.
Dude.
For me to focus in on just the New Jersey Devils game, like I don't watch a whole game of the Devils, and it's crazy. I mean, they went to sleep in the first period, only getting 2 shots. I mean, Washington, they said, and it kind of showed that they plugged up the middle a bit. Maybe it was the travel and staying over in Montreal last night. New Jersey, maybe they had a little bit of a late night, but
what a late
that's where they were last night,
in
right?
Montreal.
Weren't they there last night?
Yeah,
No.
Isn't that traditionally a town where hockey players have maybe too much of a good time when they go out on the town?
If you're gonna, Montreal is the place for sure. No doubt about it.
Okay.
Well, maybe they slept a little bit in the first period, only getting 2 shots, and then Lindy Ruff maybe lit them right up after the first period because they came out flying after that. So, but yeah, no, it was a wicked game. I mean, tons of offense. Was kind of cool to see. I didn't know which way it was going to go. I actually took a flyer on the draw.
You took a flyer on the cap?
Just because I didn't want to bet New Jersey on the draw of the game, but I did hit the Caps or the New Jersey team total over 3.5 in regulation, so that was a pretty decent win I got out of that game too.
Yeah, I actually took the Devils. I took the Devils -1.5 pregame, and then I took the Devils when they were down 3-0 in the first period. I took them +2.5 in the second period to cover my bet, so I broke even today. But I thought the Devils would not be screwing around in Montreal with their record as it is right now. I thought that they would be much more. When I saw them come out soft in the first period, I was like, wow, really? There's a character issue there because you got Buffalo 2 games from now. You would think that you would be like hyped to get a good start here. And I think you're right, though. Montreal is a very difficult place to not have a good time. Like, it's a very difficult place. Everybody in Montreal is going to be tempting you to have a good time in Montreal. Montreal is a party town, party city, no doubt about it, for sure.
Is there a bunch of
and it was a tale of 2 different games.
Yeah. I mean, the first period and the third period were incredible for the Caps, and then the second period is bad. I saw a stat that the Caps have been outscored 13-3 in the second period, and I believe the second period is always a long change, right? So they're the second oldest team. They're not the fastest. I mean, TJ Oshie looks like he's skating in mud. He's still a good hockey player, but it's like he's skating in mud.
His legs are gone. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Yeah.
So Andrew has a question for Rico, but real quick, I got some people in the chat. We got a lot of people in the chat, actually, and I want to Andrew, I'm not drinking beer. This is called Liquid Death. It's just water.
Water,
it's literally water in a can.
I actually grabbed some of that since you've been doing that. That stuff is killer.
Yeah, it's just straight water. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
And so Strome had a big night for his fantasy team. Gabby, by the way, thanks for being here. I believe Gabby's a diehard Sens fan. Boy, that fight between Kachuk and Tuck yesterday was incredible. Andrew has a question for you, Rico. Rico, explain why your name is a Wings fan and you are a diehard Toronto fan. You like both teams, right?
Oh, because my email address that I've had since like the start of the internet had Wings_fan79 in it. Because I was an Yzerman fan growing up ever since I was a little kid. I've always worn number 19. I loved Yzerman. I loved him more than any other player in the league. So I've always been a diehard Toronto fan, but as a player, it was Yzerman. So I just thought that's what my email is going to be. And then when I first signed up to Twitter, I just used that because I wasn't sure kind of what Twitter was all about. I signed up, I think, back in the mid 2000s, like when Twitter first got going. I had that handle for a long time, and I just kind of kept it. So.
Okay. I hope that answers your question, Andrew. Gabby also pointed something out about Dawson Mercer's game I wanted to talk a little bit about and ask you guys. Dawson Mercer has been disappointing. Blanks through 7 games. What do you think, Pearlo?
Well, the main thing is that if you play Mercer down, why am I all blurry now? All of a sudden?
I don't know. Are you? Yeah.
There we go. If you play Mercer down, he's going to play down. If you play him up, he's going to play up. He's one of those guys that's going to play his role, whatever you give him. So they're playing him down in the bottom 9, and he's going to play that. And his defensive analytics are insane. Like, he's one of the best defensive players in the league. He's probably one of the most underrated players in the league. Now, he just has to start having an offensive mindset wherever he is on top of it. But he's that kind of guy that if you give him a role, he's going to play that role. And if you put him up in the top 6, he'd probably have a point a game right now. Personally, I would have him up in the top 6 right now. There's guys up there that are playing in the top 6 that he would kick their ass. But the problem is those guys would be useless down in the bottom. So he's playing his role no matter what you give him. And I love him. Mercer, to me, is he's just an unbelievable player, a fantastic player. But if you give him a role to play a defensive game, that's what he's going to do. That's the reason why he doesn't have any points there in the bottom, because
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I apologize. You can finish your point there.
Sorry, that's what I think. Like, he hasn't learned how to play offense out of the bottom 6. He's young, so if you give him a role, he's going to play that role to the epitome, and he probably isn't going to be able to put too much offense down there because that's not the way he's thinking.
So our man Andrew's giving you some pointers on your studio, but we already know that if you have one in front of you, so we'll maybe get your ring light. That maybe helps you out. But honestly, you're looking good now. You're coming in clear. You don't have as much light on you as you need probably, but who cares?
I can get more light. Just give me a second. I'll get more light. Give me 1 second.
Okay. I'll drop you out real quick while you figure it out. Okay. Our good man Salty says, I really liked Mercer when he was drafted. I thought it was the best pick by the Devils. I was going to just say this in caveat to what Pearlo was saying, and then I would like to hear your thoughts on Mercer. I didn't notice him much in the game tonight. I think I did see him turn the puck over a couple of times, but I really tried to watch the Caps a little bit closer just because I'm trying to see what they have there. I just feel like the Devils are going to be there. The thing about Mercer and the Devils in general is they just have a ton of offensive guys. Like Bratt is very much one of those guys. And, he wasn't super noticeable. I watched him a little bit tonight. He's let me get Pearlo back in here.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's fine, Pearlo. You were good. I don't really notice the difference, to be honest with you. That's why we actually have to give you we have to just get you like studio light that you can clip on your laptop or something. I can get you one for probably $3. So
I can go get one.
Okay. So they make little ones that clip on your laptop or what. I know your old camera had it, but this camera's better. So
yeah. Okay. Anyways.
So I was going to give Rico a chance to talk about Mercer, but our good friend Dominic says, Rico, I think Ovi should be traded. What do you think?
We talked about this on the last night's show. I mean, Pearlo was all for trading him. I mean, I think Beard, you're a legacy guy. You'd like to see Ovechkin stay with his club. And
I'd be okay if he got traded. I mean, if they got something back for him, I wouldn't be sad, especially if he got to go to a cup contending team.
Well, they'll also help the franchise as well, too, by bringing in some future to them as well, too, instead of riding, Ovechkin into the ground there and when there's no chance of them winning the cup. But it'd be nice if he broke the record in a Capitals uniforms, is basically my thought.
I'll be honest with you. So I thought we talked more about Crosby being traded because Pearlo was on that he's getting traded kick, and we were all like, what?
Yep.
don't think so.
Still on it. Still on it. You watch.
Yeah.
You watch.
Yeah. No, Pearlo, you know what? The great thing about you is you stand by your convictions, and I appreciate it.
I also admit when my convictions are wrong, but I that's the reason why I don't like mainstream whatever, because they're not able to go balls out on their you got to be able to stand by what you're gonna say. Like you got to go out there every once in a while, and that's out there for sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say when they clowned on Biz tonight. I don't know if you saw it because they showed Brodeur had 2 goals and 47 assists, and they showed Lundqvist or something, or Brodeur had, and then Biz had like 7 goals and whatever. And I was like, yeah, but you know what? Biz never nailed his old lady's sister.
Yeah, you know what? They're like a lot of people. That's one guy in that mainstream media that he will go out there. I may not agree with him, but I love Biz because he will go out there and say what he has to say. I love Biz for that.
So our friend Salty trying to make Capitals fans feel good. I'll just say this: Caps fans got to feel good tonight. They came back. They won the game in regulation, their first regulation win of the year against a team that was 3-1-1 that a lot of people are having in the finals. And I'll tell you right now, if this Devils team puts it together, you brought up Dougie Hamilton a little bit, and Luke Hughes, Rico. You liked Luke Hughes' game a little bit better than Dougie Hamilton's tonight?
It was amazing, man. He's getting a ton of ice time. He's just meshing well, even at the top of the blue line. Like, he walks the blue line well. He moves the puck well. He's got good vision out there. He's got good speed for a D. Like, this guy's gonna be a great player, man. That's kind of cool. He plays with his bro too, man. They just passing it back and forth to each other.
Two-man game.
New Jersey plays with a lot of speed, man. When New Jersey comes at you, they're so fast of a team.
Yeah.
But it's just, man, they give up goals. So it's like, which goalie do you?
So Andrew Ford had a question for you guys.
Peppers tonight.
Our man Andrew, appreciate you being with us all the way from North Carolina. He says,
does Duclair to Carolina make any sense?
Yeah, what do you guys think about Anthony Duclair? He's on a 1-year left deal. He's in the final year of his deal with the Sharks. They obviously brought him in for trade stuff. I think they traded him to get additional assets. There's no doubt in my mind he'll be a guy that they're going to move at the deadline. Carolina, let's talk about Carolina in general. We'll talk about the trade. I do think Duclair would be a good fit for Carolina. Sorry about that, boys. That means Mama's home.
There's nothing wrong with the dog in the background, man.
Well, I don't have a dog. I have 4 freaking dogs now.
4 dogs? I did not know that.
Yeah,
That's
you
awesome.
only see KP because he's the only one that he will sit here and whine at me. But yeah, I have 4 dogs. So yeah, so
but they're not Alaskan dog sled
Carolina,
dogs either.
They got to make some changes. I think they should look to move Orlov. I think he's a bad fit there. They could send him back to the Capitals for next to nothing. I think he'd fit right in there. But we don't really need him. Boston, I don't know. They can't fit him in because he got kind of a good deal. So maybe Orlov for Duclair. I think Orlov only signed a 1-year deal too, or was it a 2-year deal? It was a 2-year deal, I believe. I'll have to check cap friendly for me. But go ahead, guys. Tell me your thoughts on Carolina. I'm
gonna steal this from Rico because I actually tweeted this out today. By the way, you guys should tweet. You guys should get on both Rico and I's Twitter there. But I actually tweeted this out today about Carolina. And I think that what happened here was Brind'Amour realized that this team needs to learn how to score. We've been talking about it for 2 years that Carolina can't score. They can play well, but they can't score. And I think Brind'Amour said, you know what, screw the defensive part of the game right now. I want all of you to score. And even if we don't do well to begin with, I don't think he told them this, but just go out and score, and then we'll bring it back. And I think they will bring it back. But I agree with you. Orlov was not necessary for that team. Like, It doesn't make any sense. You had Brady Shea, who's already poor defensively. You had Burns, who's okay. And then you bring D'Angelo too. Like, that's a whole lot of it just seems like they wanted to start out being a scoring team and not worry about defense. That was my take right now. I do think that Brindamore is going to say, okay, you see, you can score. All right, we got it. You have confidence now that you can score. Let's go back to playing the way we're going to win and remember how to score. That's what I think about Carolina. I like them. I still like them. I still think they're going to be great. That's what I think Brittany was doing here. That was my take on Carolina. What do you got, Rico?
With Carolina, just it seems like they got no top end talent up front. Like, they got on their team, they got like 14 or 15 guys that all have a goal already this year. And like you were mentioning, Beard, earlier, like Orlov's a minus this year already. And that's a problem. And D'Angelo's a -6. So there's another problem as well too. I think adding a guy like Duclair is just going to add another depth scorer. Maybe Ovechkin, somebody like that, to Carolina might be a better fit for him over there if you're talking about trading him.
So just for the audio podcast, Orlov has 2-year deal at $7.75 per cap friendly. Yeah, I could see maybe Ovechkin going to a Carolina if they needed him for scoring or whatever. I think Svechnikov coming back is going to help them too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
So the other team that's in trouble, and I think is in bigger trouble, I keep hearing Calgary's name. I just wasn't sure. I thought Calgary was kind of a fringe team anyway.
Me too.
If I'm an Edmonton fan, and I just think a lot of them are lying to themselves right now, I would be very nervous. What are your thoughts?
On Edmonton or Calgary?
Edmonton.
Which one?
Edmonton.
Okay, I'll let Rico go first since I'm an Edmonton fan. So I want to hear what he's got to say about
that. For the Oilers?
Yeah, where are your concern level? What's your concern level?
It's going to be interesting to see what they do without. So somebody's going to have to step up with McDavid gone, and it's going to be life without him. I don't know what Ekholm's health is like. The goaltending is scary, very scary with Jack Campbell and Skinner. I don't know who's better than who else on that team. I mean, Connor Brown, it just seems like Edmonton's got no depth all of a sudden. Darnell Nurse is overpaid. I mean, I think there's a big problems in Edmonton right now. When you get away from, Hyman, Draisaitl, Vander Kane, you don't know what you're going to get out of them. And McDavid, it's like, once you get past those guys and you shut those guys down and they're not getting 4 or 5 power plays a night, I'm kind of worried about the Oilers. I know they got off to a slow start, I think, last year, if I'm not mistaken, too. But
yeah, where are you at?
It's your team, and I'm.
Tell us where your thoughts are.
Well, I mean, same as it was from the beginning of the year. I think they're the most overrated team in the league. Evander Kane is ass for what he's getting paid. Zach Hyman, people call him a two-way player. He's not. They have three good defensive players on their team. They have McDavid, who is amazingly good defensively for how much offense he puts up. Nugent Hopkins, and 4. Ekholm, and Nurse is way underrated for how good he is defensively. People crap on him a lot because of his salary, but he's actually very good. Besides that, this team doesn't, and they're trying to play a man-on-man. Like Carolina plays a man-on-man system, and they have the players to do it. Edmonton doesn't. If this team doesn't start playing a 1-1-3 somewhere down the road, they're never going to win a cup. Never, ever, ever. They don't have the team to do that.
So, Evander Kane is on a $5.125 million deal for 3 years with Edmonton this year, next year, and the 2025-26 season. He is 32, so be 35 at the end of that contract. Zach Hyman has got 5 left until 2027-2028. He is 31, so he'll be with the team till he's 36. And in fact, the oldest player on that team is 36, Derek Ryan. He makes nothing. And then, so here's something I thought about, and Detroit's been playing really well. And I know they probably wanted to keep him, but the loss of Klim Kostin.
I agree. That's a really good point, dude. You don't get rid of cost in there. I agree with you totally.
Yeah, one of those guys that I thought was you could see him as a third or fourth line guy in a Stanley Cup team. Laid the body, was physical, but had some just a really decent two-way player. It just sort of sucks. And then what I've thought I've seen, it feels like Bouchard has regressed a little bit. And definitely in his own
-8.
Yeah,
I think
really having a tough time defending.
I think Bouchard's just pushing the offense because they're not scoring as much right now, so he's just pushing it as much as possible. But he's never going to be a good defensive player. He's like a wonderful player in Carlson there in Washington. He's basically that. That's what he is.
Yeah, but John Carlson, especially in his younger years, was very good defensively.
Yeah, he wasn't bad, but it took him a while to get there. I think.
I've never really had too much complaint with his defensive game. Again, I mean, he's been in the Norris conversation. He's never been I don't believe he's ever been a top 3 finalist. But I mean, dude, he's just been the last few years for him. It's really just been health, and I just think when you miss games, especially when you're older, it just takes that much longer. So, So, I just think that level of concern is, I'm going to have to, my computer's giving me all kinds of warnings. Sorry, guys. This is a college laptop. So, I don't know all the specs. I think it's probably time to get a new one. Anyway, so we only have one game. I did want to call Pearlo out for his poll, which Finnish guy you'd rather have, and Adrian.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell I thought Kempe was a.
I can't find you on Twitter.
My God, why the hell did I think Kempe was a Finn? I have no idea. Good, thank you for calling me out on that bullshit.
I did do that on. Why can't I find your Twitter handle on Twitter? Did you get banned or something?
Pearlo's NHL POW. You should be able to find it.
Pearlo's NHL POW. You're not showing up. Why are you not showing up?
I have no idea.
I can't find you.
Maybe that's
with
not
an
why.
S, right? It has an S in there.
Okay. Let me. Maybe I'm just as wrong about Kempe as I am about my freaking Pearlo's NHL POW. Yeah, at Pearlo's NHL POW.
Why are you not showing for me?
I have no idea, dude.
I cannot find you on Twitter at all.
People in the chat, they have me. So.
Yeah, I was reading your tweets today because I wanted to ask you a couple questions based on what your tweets are. You need to bring those to the show. Bring those to the show, man.
Well, I'm bringing them to the show right now. I'll bring them to the show right now.
Let's make this a regular thing. What's Pearlo tweeting about?
Okay. What was I tweeting about? So what did I talk about today? I had Devils plus 2.5 on a live bet. That's not going to matter here. I said, lots of people DMing me about the Canes. I said, my take is that Brendan Moore has realized that they have to get confident scoring and have to give them plenty of rope to do so early. That's what I was saying. I think that It's been 2 years now, and Carolina can't score worth shit. That's what everybody's been saying. So Brendan Moore said, go out and score, and then we'll work on the defense afterwards. And that was a ballsy move because unlike Daryl Sutter, he would never do that in a million years. Like basically, Brendan Moore is Sutter as a young version of Sutter, but he has the balls to realize that you can't play like that on a regular. You have to find a way to score. Sutter just blamed all his players for not scoring instead of trying to figure out a way to score. That's what Brendan Moore really is. He has the same system as Sutter does, but he realized that if you're not scoring, you gotta find a way. So that was my tweet, and watch for them to play an original man-on-man soon. So I think they'll go back to man-on-man again. But first, he's got to find a way to score in that lineup. And I think Brendan Moore did a great job of just saying, don't worry about if we win or lose right now. We got to score. Because that's the reason why they haven't won in the playoffs this year or last 2 years is because they can't score. So he said, let's figure out how to score. So that was my
I was reading your bet.
What's that?
I was reading your bet. So you just put pussy bet.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I sometimes don't read I just read what you tweeted out, like what you're taking, and I don't read the body of the text. And I just.
Well, it was a pussy bet.
And then you tweet out 30 minutes ago because you lost.
I guess it wasn't a puss bet. I didn't lose the bet. I won the bet. But actually, it was a puss bet because I actually thought New Jersey was going to come back and win. So, but it was a puss bet because I went plus 2.5 instead of going for them to win. And it turned out it worked out great. So that's why I said that. Yeah.
Okay. So, and we'll have a caution because I really don't want to watch my language, but we will have explicit language in this podcast. So I apologize to anybody. There will be fucking cuss words from time to time on here. Just deal. We're not trying to market this for the masses. We're trying to market it to diehard puckheads like us that just want to talk puck. And I'm going to drop the link. We're going to have people on tonight. We're 40 minutes in. So, Pearlo, really what I want from you is your gambling stuff and then your polls. So I want to ask you about this poll. I didn't vote on it. Mm-hmm. Pearlo's NHL Pro Frolic, which long shot is more likely to win the Vezina?
Yeah.
Woll for the Leafs, Hill for Vegas, Husso for the Red Wings, and Saros for the Predators. I saw Saros the other night. Look god awful.
Well, Nashville's not going to make the playoffs, so Saros is a long shot.
Okay, so answer your own poll, and then let Rico answer.
Woll.
Yeah, I would love that. I could see it. You look good.
That's my pick. Woll. 66-1 for Woll right now. If you bet it all, throw $10 on that because he's going to take Samsonov out, and the Leafs are probably going to end up close to top in the Atlantic, and so I could see Woll winning that freaking. And I love the guy. I think he's amazing. So, anyways, what do you think, Rico?
You said Aiden Hill was in that too, in that poll? Yeah. I took Aiden Hill, but I'm starting to think I understand what you're saying about Joseph Woll. They're going to want him to take over number one job. Samsonov's only there for a year. He would be a cheap asset in net for a Leafs team that's up against the cap most years. So, the team will probably rally around him. He's a Toronto homegrown player. I would guess Woll too, but I did sprinkle a bit last night. I actually laid a future bet on Aiden Hill to win the Vezina.
That would be my other pick. Either one of them are good picks. Yeah, Hill for sure.
Okay, I voted on mine, and I said a different goalie. Otherwise, I wouldn't talk here. I said Billy Husso. He was really good 2 years ago with St. Louis. In fact, I think got them in the playoffs. And then Bennington was good in the playoffs for them, but okay. And then, I really agree with that. I want to answer Gabby's question. I'm going to let you guys do so. We'll start with Rico. Who is Dylan Larkin, and what has he done with Detroit's former number one center? What do you think there about Dylan Larkin this year? He looks really good. Rico, go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, sorry. He's been a Detroit. Yeah, he's been a top draft pick for the Red Wings. They've groomed this guy to be who he is today. He just had to put a little bit more weight on. The speed was amazing as a drafted player. The guy was fast, and Detroit developed this guy into a number one center, and he's going to have an amazing career. I do not doubt if this guy's a Hall of Fame player at the end of the day once it's done, man. You just have to fill out a little bit so he can protect himself.
Right?
I know. He just had to fill out a little bit, turn into a bit of a man, because he was really light. Like, he was a really light player, like on his skates when he first came to the league. The speed and the skill has always been there, but this guy's going to be a force up the middle of Detroit for years.
But I like their deal for him. Go ahead, Pearlo. Your thoughts on Dylan Larkin in the year he's having?
Well, it's not just the year he's having. He's been one of the best two-way players in the league for a long time, top 7 for sure, for quite a while. But he hasn't got the credit because he's had no team around him, and people haven't noticed it. And like Rico said, now he's 27 years old. Just watch this guy for the next 10 years. He is an incredible player. Yzerman's not a stupid guy to give him the numbers that he got on his last contract. This guy's amazing, and now that he's got Jabrinka beside him, and he's got some players around him right now. Like, I had Detroit on the bubble, and I think I was wrong. Like, people are asking me, people are DMing me in my Twitter, asking me if the Red Wings are real. And I believe they are. I believe they're real. I believe they're going to take out Buffalo and Ottawa this year. I don't think this is good. This is just a
who's a playoff team? Who's a playoff? Because this happens every year. So there's a playoff team that's out. Usually there's 6 teams that made it last year don't make it. I think it's the Islanders. They're not going to be in this year. They look good, but they don't on certain nights. I just think they're probably they'll be in the mix because of how they play defensive hockey and their goaltending. But I just think that if Detroit does, I think Detroit will be a top 3 Atlantic team, honestly. So I don't think they'll have to worry about a wild card.
Yeah, good call, Beard. I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you on all of that. What do you think, Rico? Do you think the Islanders are going to make it?
I don't think the Islanders are going to make it. It just seems like they don't have enough scoring. Like, if Brock Nelson isn't doing it, like, who else is going to be there? I mean, Barzal's just, I don't know. He kind of hasn't had a good year so far. Horvat, it's obviously one of the really bad contracts going to the NHL as well, too. I mean, Detroit, man, that top line with Larkin, DeBrincat, and Raymond, dude, is there a better top line in the NHL right now? It's probably in the top 5, I would say, as a number 1 line there. I mean, Detroit's filling in, even little player like Justin Hall, the whipping boy in Toronto. I mean, he's gone over to Detroit. He's done all right.
He looks good. He looks really good. Darren, did you hear Darren McCarty today on Kipper and Bourne?
No.
Rico?
Yeah. Did you hear sick. Yeah, that was sick to have him on. They just talked about that Dangle goal he did in Philly in the Cup final. Like, everybody needs a Darren McCarty on their team right now. They were saying, like,
who doesn't like Darren McCarty?
I love that guy, man. 4 cups.
Don't like Darren McCarty. You don't like hockey.
Yeah.
By the way,
that's a good. That's well said. If you don't like Darren McCarty, you don't like hockey. That is so true. Yeah.
Dylan, we should make that a shirt. That will be our first official shirt.
If you don't like McCarty, you
like
don't
Darren
like
McCarty,
hockey.
you don't like hockey, and I'll send him one. He works for Woodward Sports. He does the same thing. There's so many hockey YouTubers now. It's like, I go, like, how do us schlubs compete with so Dylan Larkin makes 8-7 for one. I think his deal ends. I think it's an 8-year deal. till the end of 2030, 2031. So I think he got an 8-year deal. This is the first year of that extension. But yes, DeBrincat, which by the way, they got him at 7'8". They don't have a single guy in double or 10 digits. And so they look really good. And then they have a pretty significant amount of IR with Robbie Fabry being on the LTIR. So that's $4 million that's off their cap. So they can really add a player. All right, I'm gonna drop the link in, and we're gonna take a couple of calls if somebody wants to call in, and then we're gonna call it a night. So we'll give it a few minutes, but I really feel like we covered a lot of stuff. One game in the NHL. Real quick while we're waiting to see if somebody wants to call in. Frozen Frenzy, massive success in the U.S. Everybody loved it. They talked about the engagement and how it added to viewership. So pretty super excited about that. Don't know where you guys are at. I know you guys in Canada couldn't watch it if legally, but some of you were able to watch it. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I don't know why they didn't just get together with TSN and get TSN to be able to do it, but TSN doesn't have the rights, right? It's still Sportsnet. So that's kind of the weird thing, right? Sportsnet has the national rights for hockey. So Canadian game.
Well, it was great.
Well, I guess we're going to have 16 games one more time in the year, so hopefully we get another one.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
I'm
I
excited.
watched it to the last drop, man.
So we didn't get any
Vegas
callers,
come back
guys.
in the third period.
Andrew Beauchene, is that how you say it? He thinks the Islanders are going to make it because they're that old school defensive team. But
Yeah,
I don't think they're built the way they want to play. That's what I really they like to be that, and they try to be that, but over the long term, I don't think they're that. Especially with this young group out there in the NHL right now, they can outskate you. Like Colorado just showed their ass in this last game. Do you agree? Like Colorado just absolutely showed that.
I'm going to let Rico talk, but Colorado is not the most strategic hockey team to me. It feels like it's McKinnon and Makar just bulldozing people and Rantanen too. And I feel like Vegas, very structured, super defensively, and then roll 4 lines and just that's why I just think, okay, I like McKinnon and Makar, but Colorado doesn't have enough to beat Vegas. Anyway, go ahead, Rico.
I agree with you. Sorry, Rico. Go ahead.
No, with Colorado, Mikko Rantanen's on fire right now, and they were talking about it earlier. I think it was either Kipper and Bourne or the Merrick show, but they're saying, go back to that old thing where if you can start your franchise with one player right now, who would it be? And they were all saying Cale Makar. And I guess they had an interview with his brother, and his brother, they asked him, name one word to describe your brother, and they said obsessed. Like Cale Makar is obsessed with the game. Chicklets. That's what it could have been then. Yeah, I was listening to that today as well too.
Mikey Grinelli talked to his brother at UMass and just said he's just No, I love Makar. Like he just broke a Bobby Orr record. We talked about that the other day. Just a caveat on the Islanders real quick. Give you guys your closing thoughts. Bo Horvat makes 8.5 for the next 6 years. So that's going to be an untradeable contract, man. He's going to be one of those guys I don't think that makes.
Who is?
He's 28 years old, so you can tell that his numbers were purely driven by getting to play with such skilled guys like JT Miller and Elias Pettersson, and and Kuzmenko. That guy's got some silky mitts too. I'll tell you what. My final thought is Vancouver. I'm interested in them. I think that they could make some noise and make the playoffs easy. Seattle isn't what they were last year. They're not getting the secondary scoring like Pearlo called it. He said that they weren't going to shoot that percentage. They still have a deep team, and I think they'll still be in the mix for a wild card. But, Calgary is dog doo-doo right now. So
Yeah, no,
That's my
Vancouver's
closing
well
thoughts.
coached, and they've got structure there, and everybody's pulling on the rope together in Vancouver. And Quinn Hughes is having such a great year as well too. So.
Oh, he looks so.
Yeah. That's the reason why I put Seattle in at the end of it all, because I thought that either Calgary, I wasn't sold on Calgary, and I wasn't really sold on Minnesota either.
Minnesota looks good though. Minnesota looks good.
Yeah, like there was a
They
couple
just
teams.
scored 5 goals in the third period on the Oilers. Come on, man.
Fucking San Jose could score 5 goals on the Oilers in the third period. Are you kidding me? Come on. Like, that matters to me. I don't care if you scored 5 goals on the Oilers.
I think you're just using that as an excuse that you lost this argument.
No, I didn't lose any argument. I don't think.
And the thing about them is,
I think it's very possible that Minnesota could miss after looking at all the analytics. And I said Seattle was going to miss solely on the fact that they had shooting percentages. I told you that, but it was the whole thing was, is Calgary really going to change because of one rookie coach? Like, I love Sutter. And I don't think Sutter was a complete problem there. I think Huberdeau is the problem there. And I've said that all along. And when Toffoli decided to leave, that even cemented that even more. Toffoli left because he said, if you can't play for Sutter, I don't want to be here. And that's why I thought there was a really good chance that Calgary will miss. Because if you can't play for Sutter, you have no balls. That team has no balls. And so that's why I put Seattle in, because I think Seattle with their depth, like you said, all the reasons.
I'm glad you brought up that. Did you hear what Zadorov said about the team?
Yeah, and that even cements it even more. Yeah.
Did you hear Rico?
Yeah, he was calling out Kadri and Huberdeau and people playing for themselves and not being a team guy. And
yeah.
Okay, this is what I have. The main thing is we're just not working as a unit, he told reporters. We have too many individuals playing as themselves. Doesn't name names, but I agree with what you said. We have to figure it out if we want to play as a team or play as our own guy. We're only 6 games into the season. We're trying to figure out who wants to be here and who wants to play for who. What an unbelievable. Nikita Zadorov can be on my team any day of the week. By the way.
I would take him for any time. Yeah, anytime.
Yeah. Big time fan of him. I bet Colorado would love to have him back in lineup. You imagine their decor adding him back in?
Oh, wow. For sure. Yeah.
They're probably not going to trade him because he sounds like the leader you want on your team. If I'm Calgary, I'm keeping him. Incredible. I feel like those were our closing thoughts. Let's call it a night. I really appreciate everybody coming out. We got the podcast in under an hour. We had 1 game. We had no callers, but we love you. Remember, we're a podcast sponsored by Fans First Sports Network. You can find us on Spotify, NHL Nightly, 4 times a week, Tuesday through Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern. We'll ride with it, everybody. All right. Thank you and good night.